So, as we stand on the shoulders of giants, legends, and heroes of civil rights, we are confronted with the fact that the more things change, the more they look the same. So we're here because of the systemic racism, the hidden patterns of racism that still exist everywhere, and they're felt on every level, every day, especially when it comes to being able to safely dwell and inhabit these cities, these American cities, coast to coast, without being harassed, profiled, beaten, and shot dead in the street like animals, like savages. This is ultimate depravity, masters of depravity. And since the beginning of the inception of America, there has been a severe lack of respect for the sanctity of life, historically and globally. People are seen as nothing more than disposable. But we are here to say that we are coming from another perspective, because you cannot defeat hate with hate. Only love can drive out hate. Only light can drive out darkness. So we're here as leaders of our community, leading in love, because love is what's going to win this fight. It's what's going to win the day. And we're here to say that marching is not enough anymore. We can't just march the streets, asking for anything. We're going to take it. We demand it. The anger, the contempt has reached a fever pitch. And so that's why you're not going to see any slowing down of these rallies, of these protests. We're here in the rain, in the pouring rain. We don't care if it snows. We don't care if it sleets. We're going to march. We're going to make our voices heard. We're going to call out this racism. We're going to expose these villains and these animals for who they are. They can no longer hide behind the thin blue line. McCoy Stadium can no longer hide in their comfortable, cozy, air-conditioned rooms, being armchair, phony politicians acting like they want to advance the agenda of race relations when they do the exact opposite. We're here because of the pandemic that is known as white fragility. White panic and white fear is why we're here. It is why these policemen continue to hound us and harass us and inflict the most devastating and horrendous form of racism and oppression the country and the world has ever seen. American law enforcement. That's why we're here. And we're here to change the narrative that has been carefully created and cultivated for centuries by this sect of people due to this white fear, innate fear and panic, that black is not as good as, that black can't do it, that black is less than. This story that has been perpetuated and has bombarded our airwaves, both through radio, through television, through print, you name it. This carefully crafted message that white is more superior, that white is better, that is somehow a master race, right? But we know the battle is not always to the strong or the race always to the swift, but he that endures to the end. But I would also add, even to the wicked. The battle sometimes goes to the most evil and underhanded and cunning and wicked. But that is here and temporal. But we serve a transitory God where he's not only here among us, but he's also in the heavens. And he sees everything. Nothing goes unnoticed. And one day, every single one of us will be held to account for our actions. Individual, personal actions. Did you know that? Did you know they're going to be held to account for what they did? And they won't have their police insignia or their guns or their batons? They won't have a lawyer. They won't have an attorney. They won't have a bank account. All they're going to have is their history. What they did, why they did it, and how they did it. What they represented when they stand naked before the Lord. Because naked we came into this world, and naked we're leaving here, right? They won't be so tough when they stand before the master himself. I mean, the real master. All right, America, the history is a drop in the bucket. You're talking about 200 years. But somehow, this perpetuated fallacy of a master race has been swallowed up because of oppression, because of deliberate and premeditated manipulation of the media. Although the Egyptian race was around for thousands and thousands of years and created technology that our scientists can't figure out to this day. And they didn't have democracy. They had one ruler, right? But they enslaved nations. They created monuments that touch the heavens still. They created science. They created all type of things that we use today. The Romans used. All of these civilizations, which come from the original civilization, the cradle of civilization, the Fertile Crescent, the Mediterranean, where life began, in Africa, in Israel, in Persia, in Assyria. That's where life comes from. That's the original man. That's where we come from. So this fallacy of a master race is nothing more than a perpetuated lie based on panic and fear and fragility. But I'm here to tell you that the lie has been exposed. The number one instrument to inflict oppression and inflict discrimination and segregation, as we stand here before them like bees out of a hive, zipping up and down the street. Where are they going? Who are they looking for? What's the agenda? I would like to know. I want you to know that some of our greatest supporters are white women. Did you know that? And you want to take a guess why? Because we are saying the things they want to say. They love to say, but they can't say because of convenience. They're just as sick as this racist, depraved system as the rest of the country. They're sick of it too. They're sick of white people, and mainly the fragility of white men, specifically. They're tired of it. Everybody's tired of it. And so we're going to take a sledgehammer, we're going to take an assault rifle, and we're going to blow it up. We're going to take dynamite, whatever it takes, and we're going to wreck it. We're going to demolish it and raise it to the ground. This system that has gotten people so accustomed and brainwashed and comfortable with this racism, with this inhumane treatment of other people. No country in the history of the world has treated their minorities the way America treats theirs. If people in the United States saw how the United States treated the people in the United States, then the United States would invade the United States to overthrow them. But they don't care. Why? Because they're comfortable. It's comfort. And we're here to disrupt white comfort. We're here to let you know it's no longer business as usual. You can't just go laying on a man's neck for 8 minutes until he dies, shooting people in the back like a coward 7 times. That's inhumane. That's not even inhumane. That's demonic. That's beyond fear. That's a deep-seated insecurity that we can't even fathom. We can't even wrap our minds around that type of insecurity. So we're here to let you know that we're not afraid, we're not scared. You can send 1 cop, you can send 1,000 cops. You can vote Donald Trump in, you can vote him out. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because we're here to upset the whole system. One man who represents half of the country does not make a nation, nor does it make us, nor does it dictate our agenda. So we're here to let you know, police officers, chief, with all due respect, that it's no longer going to be business as usual. You can expect unrest on an unprecedented biblical scale going forward. That's my word. I myself personally commit myself to that cause, to upsetting the apple cart, to ending police brutality, and putting a halt, a screeching halt to this discrimination that people like McCoy Stadium are so comfortable with perpetuating. They think we're fools. They think we're monkeys. They treat us like we're savages. Like, they disrespect the whole African American community by acting like that to us. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. Don't they read the newspapers? Don't they understand what's happening right now? Don't they want to be on the right side of history instead of always being on the wrong side? Don't they want to be progressive? Don't they want to look like champions of our cause? Champions of what's right? Champions of justice? But so often and too many times, something like this happens and they act like they care. Oh yeah, they raise all kind of, flags, and, they make all kind of statements, and then it's back to business as usual. police standing out in front of us, guarding us, riot gear, military troops deployed, bombs, tear gas, batons, you know? Hatred, hate speech, divisiveness. That's the way they want it. They prove they do not want to coexist with peace. Anarchy reigns from the inception of this country. And the Bible teaches that the spilling of blood begets more spilling. That's a fact. It's universal law and it's a biblical truth. And you can look at America's history to confirm it. So I'm here to let you know, as we continue this march towards progression, which cannot be stopped, no more than time can be stopped, we want you to be on the right side of history. We want you to work with us to improve race relations, because we can't keep our heads buried in the sand anymore like it's not a problem. Like this is not happening. Like everything's peaches and roses, because it's not. And you can expect to be uncomfortable as long as this movement is thriving and as long as I'm alive.